So he called me and told me about the opening and thought I might be interested, even though I was really interested in music, but get my foot in the door. So I interviewed for the job and I got the job. So thank you, Albert, for helping start my career. So I've been working there, working on copy for a few months, and the streaking phenomenon was starting to take place across the country. And Albert and I were together one night, and we said, well, let's write a song about it, or comedy bit, or whatever you want to call that everybody just heard. And so we got together, and we did this little bit, and I brought it to my boss at the radio station, Ken Dow, who some of you local Dallas sites might remember, Ken Graney on K News, and he was my boss, the general manager, and the morning show host. And he heard it, and he thought it could really be something. So we brought in a voice talent that could imitate Howard Cosell's voice, and that's who you heard. And we produced it, the song right there at the radio station, the old-fashioned way, splicing tapes together and making one continuous song out of it. Then Ken started playing it on the air, just kind of a test market, to see if it would work on the air. And right away it became the most requested song. People calling up wanting to know where they could buy it. So Ken Dow shopped the record, and ABC Dunhill gave us a contract. So Albert and I and Ken Dow got a contract with ABC Dunhill. They gave us some money up front. And we thought, this is great, we're going to be millionaires. Oh my God. In fact, K News took out an advertisement in the Dallas Morning News, a full-page ad, and it said, listen to KNUS, the only place where you can hear speaking of streaking. So Albert and I made this record together. A record company gave us a contract. We had test marketing, the song was blowing up on the radio. There was no reason to believe that we weren't going to become millionaires. In fact, Albert, I don't think I ever told you this, but sorry, Helene, I got her phone. I went down to the Jaguar dealership. I was doing some window shopping. I had it all picked out. I was going to get an XKE, yellow, tin interior, wire wheels, not that I remember. I was looking at houses in Highland Park, in the Greenville area. We were 24 years old. That was 42 years ago. And I was totally convinced we were both going to become millionaires at a very young age. Well, what happened was the record company said, we'll give you this contract, but we have to get releases from all the publishers from those songs that you just heard excerpts from. And we thought it was going to be a very quick process, but it took a little bit longer than they thought. And Elton John's record company, or publisher, which had the song Benny and the Jets, was in England, and ABC Dunhill was trying to negotiate with them from the United States. You know, other side of the world, there was no internet, we couldn't talk to them that way or send them the song. All they knew is that it was something foreign that didn't want anything to do with it. In the meantime, Ray Stevens released a song called The Streak, and it went on to go #1, sold millions. Huge! And so, by the time they got released from all these publishers, Ray Stevens' record, I think it sold 5 million. It was #1, anticlimactic, but the record company went ahead and released it. Anyway, as a token to us, and that was it. There wasn't interest in the song because there was already a #1 song. So, 42 years later, Mark Shore calls me, and asks me, tells me about this event, and I started thinking of something I could say or do that connected us to this. And I rummaged through a bunch of old stuff, and I found a copy of the single, and I went and had a plaque made, which I have today. And I wish it could have said #1 on the charts. Sorry. But it says something better. It says, Albert Goodman, #1 in our hearts.
Isn't that something?
I'm Michael Izzy Eisenberg, and I received 2 letters from friends who wanted me to read this at this event. The first was from my high school girlfriend, Marilyn Walensky. If anybody knows Marilyn, tell her I still hate her. But I'll take her back if she's willing. Oh, I'm sorry. She said it's okay. The letter starts out, Dear Albert, it's been almost 50 years now, and I never properly thanked you for saving my life. I was dating Izzy in high school and went to you for advice. We had been dating for almost 6 months, and he had never tried to do anything with me, make out or nothing. I asked you if you thought he was gay, and you said it was possible. But you knew Izzy was also very shy and inexperienced. You offered to go on a date with us and help him. You drove us to a very secluded spot and got out of the car and said you would be back in 30 minutes. I was prepared to help Izzy get to third base, and I even let him steal home if he tried. Instead, he sat in the car the whole time telling bad jokes, talking about the Kaplan basketball game, and what a great guy Albert was. Well, that was it for me. We broke up shortly after that, and I started dating Jack Rubin, and that was it. Love, Maryland. Here's the second letter I got. Dear Albert, it's been almost 40 years now. I'm sorry, this is from my wife. Dear Albert, it's been almost 40 years now, and I've never gotten to properly thank you for fucking up my life. Michael recently told me how you gave him advice on how to win me over on our first date and guarantee himself semi-annual sex the rest of his life. You told Michael that you thought Laura was way out of his league and he would have to rely on your advice if you hoped to get anywhere with her. He said he thought Laura was a beautiful, intelligent, attractive woman who would have to be impressed with your intellect, humor, and quite frankly, she needed money. She was one of the few poor Jewish women in North Texas. So, Albert, you arranged to go on our first date with us and advised me on the date as we went on. You suggested we do something political to appeal to her intellect, and I thought we could work on the anti-nuke campaign, who I knew the director and I could impress her. Worked like a charm. Then you told me you talked to Laura and she needed car repair. And you volunteered me to help, said I was an excellent mechanic. Extensive auto repair net. That one was hard to tell her with a straight face. She bought it. Cost me a fortune to take it to a mechanic. At the end of the evening, Albert told me I would be the big schmuck in the world if I didn't at least kiss her goodnight and arrange another date. I told Albert I was afraid she would think I was some sort of sex-crazed animal if I tried to kiss her on the first date. But he was right. She was very needy. The rest is history. We got married, and I've had to hear the same fucking jokes for 30 years. We go to the same fucking Christmas Day football. We got married. Love and kisses, Laura. I wrote my own letters, kind of peripheral to the event, but I thought it should be shared. Dear Pfizer Corporation, it's been 6 months now but I've never had the opportunity to properly thank you for saving my sex life. When my Schwanzstürger died, I thought my sex life was all over. Yeah, I tried all the popular home cures, including eating a loaf of rye bread every day for a week, but nothing happened.
Did you slice it?
By the time I ate the 5th loaf, the only thing that was hard was the rye bread. Along came Viagra and I was back in business. By the way, you can ignore all the crazy hate mail you're getting from Eisenberg. We're all talk to no action. Now you can start working on that ALS cure, but I'm glad you had your priorities straight. Thanks again, M. Eisenberg. Wendy time.
Yes.
All right. Hi, Albert. I'm so happy to be here reading this, and apologies to Jennifer, who was supposed to read this. And I just want, where's Jennifer? Would you like to share this with me? Please. Sure. All right, great. She was bummed when I said, oh, I'm going to come, Albert. And I want to say before I start to read some of the history of Albert's writing and projects and so forth, what a wonderful and loving group this is. What a pleasure it is to be here. And Albert was one of a community of really smart and funny people that we were all kind of young and struggling in Hollywood with big hopes and dreams. But boy, you had such a great, and do have such a great and funny, comedic sense of smart and funny friends and family. And just, what a pleasure. What a pleasure. All right. Albert wrote the first of 12 original, unproducible screenplays. In Come Again, telecommunications intersects with religion as a Jewish boy raised on Bible Belt TV misinterprets key moments of his life to believe that he is the second coming. Benny Weinbaum ends up crucified by the game-winning field goal on the goalposts of Super Bowl X. Thanks to something called the tachyoscope and unscrupulous advertisers, his dangling image is embedded into 50 million subconscious viewers worldwide, and his destiny fulfilled. In this scene from Come Again, Benny is mesmerized by presidential candidate Dougal Gimme, who seeks his endorsement.
Sir, I had the good fortune of catching your revelations last evening on the Johnny Carson show. May I suggest to you that we are very much alike. I too have been out stumping this land of ours after the hearts and souls of decent people. I too am pained, sir, that the average man in this country works to put more food on his boss's and congressman's table than his own. I am not, sir, by trade a politician, but it has become apparent to me, as I'm sure it has to you, that it will take someone from outside the political, economic, socio-fabric of this country to restore faith, fairness, and sense in America. I too, sir, see this land as one of destiny. Even its geographical design suggests that we are part and parcel to grand design. Stretch America out, sir, and what have you got? New York, right here, the brain, the nervous system, and so it has become. Imagine a man, sir, his arms, why Maine and Florida stretched wide open. The stomach, does it not make perfect sense? The Midwest, breadbasket of America. And California, sir, the feet, the land of physical beauty and prowess, a perfect fit. I speak from great thought when I say this is a land of destiny.
Scenes from Come Again won the Fox Comedy Writers Workshop, a 1 in 5,000 chance, where Albert met his writing partner Jeff Taylor. Together they wrote Almost Yours, a rom-com that was never made, But the option brought Albert his first BMW. Not the jackknife, but you got the BMW. Early drafts of brochure followed. Paul Fisher tries to make sense of love gone wrong. Albert would also collaborate with his friend Patrick Pankhurst on Oceans Apart, an historical drama that follows an academic Jewish family's journey from Nazi Germany to a traditional black college in the Jim Crow South. Then came The Peach Trees of Parker County, which I recently read, by the way, and is wonderful, lauded by Frank Blotto. And I quote, "With a finely tuned ear for observational dialogue and a deft touch for weaving a rich tapestry of characters and plot, Albert Goodman's The Peach Trees of Parker County paints a vivid pastiche that evokes a modern-day Horton Foote through the lens of Lasse Hallström, or better yet, the earnest whimsy of Bill Forsythe." Thanks, Frank. And by the way, I believe that's available for sale on Amazon.com. Yes.
And in the back of the room.
Yeah. And the back of the room, even better. In Albie's midlife, an adulterous romance. A man in the middle of his life assesses his situation, read by Albert's great friend and former roommate in Hollywood, Andy Goldberg, and the lovely Melinda, also an actress in Hollywood. I'll be reading the stage directions out in front here. Albie enters carrying a plastic bag full of newly altered shirts to his car. Voiceover.
Another hour with Dr. Lipinski, and I still haven't answered my big questions. Why are other people in my life so unsatisfied? Why can't I give more? What's more important, loyalty or self-gratification? How do you confront mortality? Am I an ass? Ouch! Oh, these darn stick pins.
A sexy girl emerges.
I got a little prick. I got a little prick.
How's that working for you?
On my finger! On my finger!
She's standing directly in front of him. He holds up a his red spotted finger that she grabs, examines slowly, then finally puts it in her own mouth for a little kiss and suck, clearing the small blood drop away.
How's your little prick now?
Much bigger, thank you. I mean better. Unless you prefer bigger. Of course, in some cases,